Hey, how's everybody doing? I got the news on. I am not watching. Twitter, so I can't give you an update on the hottie status on my Twitter feed. It's probably pretty
I
good.
can't carry anymore.
Okay. I don't know why it does this. Sometimes it does this, sometimes it doesn't, but it's remembering yesterday. So what we'll do is we'll go to ooh, we're gonna go to the Howling Plateau. That's where we're gonna go. Okay, if you're not aware, now most of what I've seen is saying Trump and 18 others charged, and some of them is using the number 19. I don't know if there's an extra one that not everybody's talking about, or if they're adding Trump and just calling it 19. And originally last night they were saying there was 10 indictments, and then this morning they were saying 13. Oh my god. I gotta say, the Threads app is really starting to feel like what Twitter was maybe a year before Elon took it over. Somebody somebody had put up a picture of the Sesame Street people, like the whole cast, and it said Sesame Street brought to you by the word Rico. Because of the Rico indictment they're dropping on Trump. Oh my God, I think they have done it twice now. And I don't, and again, I know that, and I will try to minimize it. I really will. Although I got the news on today. Um, but I really am trying not to do politics here. But there's certain things that I don't think are politics. Like, climate change is not political. It's not. Bill Nye the Science Guy, fucking just mellow guy, known him for years, and he did a video where he took a globe, and I don't know what they do now, but they used to have these when I was a kid. They'd be on some teachers' desks. You know, it had a thing where it had a pedestal, it'd come up a little bit, and then it'd have a big moon-shaped thing like the crescent of a moon. And then inside that would be pinned a globe, and you could spin it, you know? And so you could look at it from any side. And he set it on fire. And he started going off about climate change. He goes, the fucking planet is on fire. I mean, he was just, and I'm like, my God, I didn't know he knew. He swore he was using the F-bomb more than I do, except for when I used to be really, really fucking drunk and pissed off about shit. And I mean, he was just going off, and I'm like, oh my God. But he's trying to drive it home. And then, oh God, that guy with Last Week Tonight on HBO, it's the guy who used to be, and I saw this, it was a clip on YouTube, I don't watch it on HBO, but I catch clips of it. He used to be on The Daily Show. John Oliver, I think is the guy's name. Couldn't think of his name at first. And, he was talking about how they were doing a poll question on climate change. And he said, you don't poll facts. He goes, like when you do a poll and it says 25% of people don't believe in global warming, he goes, all that tells you is there's 25 people that are too fucking stupid to know that global warming is real, and he goes, like, you don't poll is 8 bigger than 4, and 25% of people, all Republicans would probably tell you, no, 4 is bigger than 8. And it'd be like fucking water by Mama said 4 is bigger than 8. Just again, for the people in the South, for the people in the Republican Party, incest is wrong. Don't do it. Oh, hey, let's do our call to action. Seriously, with the world we live in, we quite frequently have mass shootings where kids are getting murdered in school. People are getting murdered at synagogues, grocery stores, churches, elsewhere, nightclubs, and we're okay with that. There's a certain faction of this country, they're the NRA terrorist group. They're okay with that. They're absolutely okay with that. And we've had cases where you had people that were sick, they needed treatment. Maybe they couldn't cure it, but they could be kept alive. The family could still visit them. And the hospitals and or the insurance companies would go to court and they'd get court permission so that they could let these people die. They'd effectively murder them because they didn't want to spend the money. Well, since we live in that world, okay, write your congressman, and you don't have to, this is not a deal breaker. I would ask that you at least consider it, but if you don't want to do it, hey, that's fair enough. We can still be friends. But please consider writing your elected officials at all levels, local, state, county, federal, and ask them to work on getting assisted suicide legalized. Seriously, do it. And because if we can stand around because of the NRA and the fucking tiny penis society that's on the right, if we can stand around and watch these murder and not do anything, well then you know what? We can actually do something to help sick people like me as they get worse. Or if you got people that are getting, like, if a house was supposed to be left for them in a trust and you've got people that are trying to steal it from them, and, even though, like, the person at, State Farm had said, hey, if I talk to your sister about your benefits, it would be illegal. And the guy at the bank for the second annuity, he said, hey, if I talk to your sister about your benefits, that would be illegal. And, and then you find out from the lawyer that, Edward Jones and Old National Bank were supposed to split the money. And again, that legally, they don't go by that, short of a court order. And my mom's lawyer didn't feel that the estate needed to go through probate, so he didn't. But what I don't understand is why, after he met with my mom, he was under the impression that we would all be getting an equal share of the money at the bank and the money at the brokerage house. And I got some of the money from the brokerage. As far as I can tell, I got like half. And if I was supposed to get it, I'm okay with that, But I just, I don't understand, because the way my sister was, from what I remember, the way my sister was acting and like what the guy at the brokerage said to me when he contacted me, my sister had to go to him. He actually contacted me. Well, really, looking at it now, and I didn't know back then, but looking at it now, the way she was acting, where he wouldn't talk to her about even her benefits, and she didn't understand it because she was the executor of the will, and he wouldn't do it, and she didn't understand it, and he wouldn't talk to her, is what she was telling me. That sounds like she wasn't a beneficiary, but like a week or so later when I met with the guy, she was getting her share, I was getting my share. I didn't understand it. And there was at least one account that my sister didn't know about at the bank. The bank didn't know about it because when I called them after I got the letter from the lawyer, and if I've talked about this before, I completely apologize. I'm going to get off of it real quick. But, I just didn't understand. Well, the people I talked to, the guy at the annuity guy at the bank, the financial guy that worked out of the bank, he said, if I talk to your sister about your benefits, it would be illegal. The guy at the insurance company said, if I talk to your sister about your benefits, it would be illegal, because she was trying to steal an insurance policy that was for me and that was for my brother, and she failed. Because the guy at State Farm, unlike the bank, it appears, and unlike Edward Jones, he fucking did his job. Didn't let her have our money. And, but the thing I don't understand is they kept telling me this shit was illegal, and I just don't understand why because I've talked to the sheriff's department multiple times, and the guy that came here, he even said, he's like, oh, well, you guys need a lawyer, he's like, yeah, the money at the bank, because I go, yeah, it sounds like we were supposed to get money at the bank and at the brokerage, and I go, I got my money at the brokerage, but I go, it sounds like we were maybe supposed to get money. And I go, when we talked to the bank, they said, well, we don't have your money. You'll have to talk to your sister about that. And he goes, well, the bank shouldn't be fucking giving your money if it's your money, you know. But yet it was just a shame that there wasn't somebody with a gun and a badge and the authority to fucking look into this. Oh, that was the deputy. And he even told us that he told her, well, you should really talk to your lawyer and make sure you haven't done something wrong, because he kind of told us that, I kind of let your sister know, he goes, you might want to talk to your lawyer before you do something wrong that you can't take back. And, you know, and it's like, my God, why wasn't there somebody here? Oh, that was him with a gun and a badge that could investigate it and fucking arrest people if he needed to. And so that shit was going on. But, I don't know. I'm gonna stream for as long as I can. But so yeah, just write them, ask them to do the legalized suicide, the assisted suicide, legalize it. Give people like me, and then people who are, you know, dying. They're not just sick, but they're dying, which I might eventually become. Just give them some better options. Seriously, just give them some better options. You know, the thing is, and if you basically get a hold of them and you let them know that, hey, we watch kids get massacred like every day, and that's supposed to be okay. We can definitely, you know, help people that are sick that want to. What it might do, even if it doesn't help me, it might actually get them moving on the gun issue. You know, like when I worked at GM, there were times where if you know, this is something we learned at my old plant, and I personally used it down there a little bit too. If you went to management and you gave them the best fucking idea in the world, okay, they'd never do it. Because it was your idea. That was just the way it was. So, you know, what you do though is if you brought them an idea and it was something that needed to be, if you brought them something that needed to be fixed, I thought I was going to lose my character. I couldn't get I didn't know what was keeping me in there, but I could not get her out of there.
That ability is not yet recharged.
But if you gave them something, this is what I found worked down in Indiana. If you gave them something that was workable, usually, they would sometimes, like I had a couple shift leaders. A group leader, I had one group leader that wasn't too bad. Actually, I had more than one, but it was usually the shift leaders. But there were like 2 or 3 really good shift leaders down there, and if you had something that would work, and they saw that it was important, they would do everything they could to help you out. There was like a fourth one who I don't know. I trust the person that told me this, but they're like, oh, well, you know, he was really working behind the scenes. Well, he couldn't get nothing done, and on some level, and I'm not trying to bash a guy. I'm really not. But at a certain level, I don't care how hard or how little you work if you get it done. You know, I am completely okay with somebody who's sitting around phoning it in, scratching his balls, as long as he gets it done. But if you got a guy that's working like 10 times harder than you ever have, and he still can't get anything done, what good does it do you? You know, what good? None for me. You know, especially when you got like quality issues going down the fucking line. It does me absolutely no fucking good. Doesn't do the customer any good. You know. And I gotta be a little on. He pissed me off because he basically accused me of lying, because when he couldn't get nothing done, I started going over his head to his boss, which was our quality policy. And then, you know, when I would go to them, he'd be like, well, I'll have to come out there. And he was just acting in the fucking email like I was making up. I go, hey, I tell you what, because of that, from now on, when I go over your head, I will be sending pictures. And I did. I sent pictures all the time. You're going to call me a fucking liar. I'll show you, you dumb shit. And what got me was the one time, we were basically told, We were basically told that they had a commitment from the sequence center that they were going to send us good quality parts we could use. And we were getting these door panels out, and I'm not kidding you. They like, well, they were all different colors, but let's say the one that I called him and I called the shift leader from material out for, it was a black door panel, and it had a rip so bad you could see the white insulation in it. And it was so big, I think you, and I'm kind of exaggerating, but I told him, I go, yeah, when they got out there, I go, yeah, I'm pretty sure you could see this rip with the naked eye from orbit. But he came out, and he, you know, you could just tell by the way he was walking. He thought it was just a nothing issue, and I was like, this fucking rip was like 6 inches. You know, bright white contrasted with the black vinyl of the panel, and he came out and he looked at it, and the shift leader, I wish I could remember her name. She was an older black lady. She was more useful than I would probably say 90% of the management people I dealt with in my own fucking department. But she came out, and Terry came out with her, and she got out there, and Terry heard her before he saw it. She goes, oh my God, she goes, that's really bad. She goes, I guarantee I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. She was really cool. Terry came out and he goes, really? He goes, how bad is, and then he saw it. And I looked at it, I go, you know, I really, and I told him, I really don't appreciate this shit where you act like nothing's going on. I go, this is just not useful to me. And he saw it. He didn't say a word. He just turned and left. He fucking turned and left. And but it's like, you know, because he thought it was just nothing. This is why nothing ever got fixed in that place. You know, it just nothing ever got fixed because you had so many people that were in the management structure that just didn't give a shit. They literally just did not give a shit. Like, I'm, you know, this is the thing. I'm gonna tell you what I remember to the best of my ability. It's true. But here's the thing. I am positive that if push came to shove, everybody'd fucking lie about it. Everybody that still has a job there would fucking lie about it. But I got to it when they went from 4 teams to 10 teams on the door line. I didn't have the door panels anymore. And I knew a fair amount, not the newer ones were a little different, but I still knew a fair amount about them. And how to fix stuff and shit like that. Oh, it was a lot different with the new thing. But I was helping the guy that was covering that team, and what happened was, if his people would pull the cord, he'd take it off. And to be fair, and I might be wrong, but my opinion of it, he never looked at it. He was just filling in. That was not his team. He was not an expert on it. He was just doing his best to fill in. And I gotta tell you, it seems there were 2 people that were fucking with him because he was black. That's my opinion based on shit that I saw in it, and I didn't figure it out for a while. It was going on for a little bit. But if they called him over, what would happen is they would, his team, like he had one guy on the team, and then there was another girl that was kind of floating in the area. Those were the 2 doing it. Like what would happen is this guy would call him over, and he'd tell him that the door panel was bad. So he'd take it off. And I was helping him write up scrap and other shit if he needed it. If he didn't need it, he did his job. But if he needed the help, I was trying to help him. Well, then what would happen is, this is where I started to figure shit out. And what would happen is his group leader, our group leader would come over and give him a ration of shit, telling him that the door panels weren't bad. He's like, I don't know why you're pulling this and gonna write it. He goes, just send it. He goes, by the touch, and this is what the group leader, not the union people, the group leader told him, just ship it. He goes, when you got stuff like this, ship it. By the time the customer notices, they're gonna think they did it anyways. That was literally directions from a group leader. And Yeah. Yeah, not making that up. That's my recollection. Everybody will probably fucking lie about it. I'm not giving you any names, but everybody will probably fucking lie about it. That's what I fucking remember. Well, his group leader would tell him they're okay and tell him to put him in. Well, then this little fucking wanderer who's floating in there, it's a little... If I tell you exactly what she was doing, then it would be like, I might as well fucking name her. And... well, then she would go and start making, stirring up shit on the other side of the issue. So he was basically getting played by that fucking racist that was on the team he was covering, and this fucking chick. And they were just stirring up shit. And then that's when I started paying a little more attention. And that guy that didn't seem to like black people that much, he fucking walked, and this is before I even knew there was something going on. He fucking walked off the line to try and make him look bad, and the guy was covering somebody else. This dude just walked up like he was like it was like they were gonna blame him. And when the guy came back, I told him, I go, look, I go, it's entirely up to you, but I go, if you can honestly tell them that you were going to shit your pants if you didn't go to the bathroom, I go, it might save you from getting rolled up. He said, well, what do you mean, blah, blah, blah? And I go, dude, you walked off the line. He was covering somebody else. Well, yeah, but you got, and I go, look, I told him, I go, he was covering somebody else. You fucking left, and the line went down. I go, they're going to be looking to hang somebody. And I go, right now, it's you. So I go, it's up to you. I go, if it isn't true, then you're probably going to get, but don't. I go, if you can honestly tell them that you were going to shit your pants if you didn't go, I go, you might get away with not getting rode up this time. But I go, it's entirely up to you. And then he started figuring out that not everybody hated black people and was going to fucking support his ass. I don't know. It was some fucked up shit working in one of those right to fucking work states. It really was. But,
I am returning to town.
But fucking A. Yeah, this is the part that just kind of, I at least I'm not talking about the news. I'm trying to watch this, though, and pick up, like, what's going on. But it really looks like they maybe have Donald Trump. It really is starting to look like that, which is kind of nice. There's some fucking clueless people on both sides, though. I don't even want to get into it.
Alone for a while now. Mind if I join you?
Enter the Forgotten Well. The Forgotten Well is this way. Hang on a second.
The gods strike through me.
Someone's nearby. Do you hear them?
I love this. I love this commercial. Sometime when I'm clear-headed and I might, because I usually don't think of it when I'm out. I don't go out that much anymore because of what's going on with my health. But I would love to be in a crowded environment with people that have their mind on shit, that you could maybe distract a little bit. And when they tell you something, just look at them and go, Shingles doesn't care. And see if you can get a reaction. Or the one, it's that one commercial, because every now and then I'll hear it and then it'll be in my head for a couple days. But it's that one Colace or whatever it is. That one, they got that little jingle, number 2 should be easy to do. And That would be something like if you were at work and you were walking past somebody, just walk by going, number 2 should be easy to do, and just see if you can get a reaction from them.
The storm breaks.
Oh my God. Well, anyways, yeah, I'll definitely not, because I'm actually starting to do that. The ones I do with Minecraft, I've shared that folder on YouTube as a podcast. So you should be able to get it where you get your podcast. I have no idea how it works, but I saw the option. I'm like, well, fuck it, you know.
This fight is over.
Hey, I gotta say, it was on my personal Twitter. It wasn't on my gaming one, but I really got to look into creating a Threads account for my gaming stuff. Especially if I'm going to start doing this again, keep doing it or whatever, just to say I have it. Because that Threads is actually seems pretty cool. It really does. The only thing is, I don't know if they have an easy way. If anything, I might have to wait until they have an easy way to switch back and forth like Twitter does. And Zuckerberg said that he would start looking at adding features because it was something they toyed around with, and then when Zuckerberg did what he did, or Elon Musk did what he did, he's like, well, fuck it, we'll just take this off the shelf and launch it. Yeah, here we go. Oh, this is the Pepto. Justin, diarrhea. That's another one. Is that Pepto-Bismol jingle? Okay. But there was somebody, because I made the comment about Garland, and somebody made the comment. They go, I'm kind of on the jury's kind of out for me on Garland, and I go, well, and I listed the stuff we knew about. Well, you get these fucking morons. For all I know, she might be the one, because it might be the same woman. Because there was somebody on Tribal that was doing it. They were just drinking the fucking Kool-Aid about Garland. They're like, oh, well, Garland did this and Garland did that. Well, you should just not talk about him because you don't know what his job's like. Well, I guess, he fucking doesn't know what his job's like. And I made the comment, and I'm going off memory. I looked it up so it would be accurate when I did this. But I think it was I think he really got noticed with the, God, I think it's the guy who blew up the federal building, McVeigh or whatever. I think that's the case that he got noticed. And I go, look, I got a news flash for you. If he handled the McVeigh case, or whatever case it was, I used the case name. If he handled that like he's handling this one, I go, he would have never been selected to be a judge, let alone for the Supreme Court. And I go, he would have probably never promoted up in the, that would have probably been the last big thing he worked at. He'd have been on shit detail. Well, she didn't know anything about what I was talking about. And I had looked it all up. And I go, oh my God, I go, if you're going to sit there and run your mouth and talk about Garland, in the positive, I go, maybe you should know his cases, especially his biggest one. He goes, what do you mean? I go, that's the one where he got noticed. And she had no fucking clue. What it was is she saw somebody else, I guarantee you, she saw somebody else say something that she thought was smart. This is what Fox News viewers do. She didn't know anything about anything. She wasn't a very smart person. And she saw somebody else had made a comment that she thought sounded smart. It was real supportive of him. And so she was gonna fucking run around and lick Garland's ass and tell everybody about it. And I don't know, she either blocked me or whatever, but she did not respond well to the response she got from me. Well, this one here, she's like, oh, well, you don't know anything about it. You don't know what he's doing behind the scenes, blah, 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 blah. I go, yeah, actually we do. I go, anybody that is not an idiot that's paying attention knows exactly what's been going on. because I go, they've been talking about it. I go, he didn't do a goddamn thing until after the January 6th committee shamed him. And I go, and then he acted like that stoner kid that always wanted to cheat off your test because he didn't do the fucking work. I go, that's when he was ordering the J6 committee to hand over all their stuff because he didn't know what the fuck was going on. They were, you know, and I think they even postponed a committee hearing to kind of let him get caught up because he didn't have a fucking clue. He really didn't. But I did. I told her, I go, would you please quit drinking the fucking Kool-Aid that the Garland people are handing out? I go, we now know. I go, this is a fact. I go, we didn't know this back during the J6 hearing, but we now know for a fact there were many prosecutors who wanted not indict. They didn't want to indict anybody. They didn't want to arrest anybody. They didn't want to charge anybody. They wanted to investigate. The other I word. And they wanted to investigate the leadership behind January 6th. You know, they wanted to investigate Trump's role. They wanted to investigate the people around Trump. They wanted to investigate Mike Flynn and his brother and all this shit. They wanted to investigate the people that were giving recon tours in Congress. They wanted to investigate the people that were tweeting, it's 1776 before anything started happening. They wanted to investigate the people that were tweeting out Mike Pence's and Nancy Pelosi's location live on Twitter so that the people looking for him could find him and kill him. They wanted to investigate all of that. And if they'd have done it, guess what? They probably would have grabbed the Secret Service phones and the Department of Homeland Security phones and the other phones that had fucking evidence on them, and they wouldn't have got deleted and destroyed. And they were first told by the FBI, yeah, we're not giving any FBI agents for that. You know, let's focus on it was the Abu Ghraib scandal. They wanted to focus on the low-hanging fruit and not the leadership. That's what they were going for. And we know this now. And I go, then there was a 14-year veteran prosecutor, guy that's been with them for a while. I go, he started investigating Hunter Biden under Trump. And then he kept doing it under Biden when Biden came in. And he thought things would change when Biden got there and Garland got there. Well, what he found was he was not finding much for crimes under Hunter. But it was like the Durham guy, that special prosecutor that Barr and Trump put in like a Trojan horse for the Biden administration. He was investigating what they told him to. Well, we now know that Durham was getting all this evidence on Rudy and Donald and everybody else, and he never investigated any of that. He just swept that shit under the rug and kept investigating the bullshit that didn't go anywhere. And this guy was the same way. He wasn't finding too much on Hunter, but he was finding shit on Trump and all these people around Trump. And it didn't matter whether it was Barr or Garland. He kept being told by superiors to just stop that and not investigate. That just came out in the last couple days. So I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, but Biden should be firing Christopher Wray, or the Wray guy at the FBI, and he should be firing Garland for cause, both of them. And he needs to get somebody in there like Janet Reno, or find another person that's real similar to this Jack Smith. Find somebody that's no nonsense and will go after the bullshit and get to the bottom, because it's the guys they got in there are just not doing it. We're finding out that they've been fucking the dog on this. And this is not an isolated thing with them. It's a fucking thing of Republicans and Democrats. For some reason, they don't want to investigate corrupt Republicans for the most part. There was a guy, he ran for president back in 2016 when Hillary was trying to get it. And he's from Pennsylvania or something like that. I can't remember the guy's name. I only saw him because he was running for president that one time. But they were talking about something, and he made the comment, because they were talking about how, well, they should just let this go, and you know, some of the stuff with Trump and the people around him, they should just let this go. And he made the comment, he goes, I got a sneaking suspicion if they had found something like this on Hillary, there would be nobody on the right saying that, oh, well, we should just let this go. There's nothing to see. And because this is the thing, and this guy, I did appreciate him doing this. This is the thing that the Republicans do. If they've got an imaginary crime, something that's completely made up, oh, they're supposed to prosecute and they're supposed to put in jail the Democrat. But when you've got overwhelming evidence of a Republican, oh my God, let's defund the FBI. How dare you fucking do this? How dare you do this? A pox on you and all your house. You know, it's fucking bullshit. And, yeah, I don't know. It just, I got to get this out of my system. I really don't want to do it when I'm playing Minecraft. Because like I said, if I'm going to do those as podcasts, I'd kind of like to keep them to the UFO theme. And I won't always be able to do it. Maybe I'll talk about other shit. I'm going to ramble. It's not going to be as, well, none of them I would say are really overly coherent, but it won't be as nice as some of the ooh. Oh, I gotta go kill the demon.
The storm breaks. It is not ready yet. Feel the wrath of Yitar.
And this is another thing they're doing, because the Washington Post, I think this would be the third one. They did an article, and I'm not kidding you. I think this is one that, I think the Washington Post might have been taken over by Rupert Murdoch. But Washington Post, and I don't know if it's their normal news or a fucking editorial piece. I really have no idea. I don't read it. But there was one thing that it was being attributed to them that, oh my God, we should just offer Trump a plea deal with no jail time as long as he doesn't run again, blah, blah, blah. They're just throwing that out there. And it's like, no, you absolutely can't, because if you do that, he needs to go to jail. And I basically said this on the second one, because it's like, it didn't take. There was basically nobody biting on it. So I'm pretty sure a day or two later they did another one. And oh my God, we were talking about this the other day, but we really need to just let Trump off the hook and, give him a plea deal with no jail time, and then he won't run again, and we'll just move on and heal the country. It's the same shit they did with Nixon. Oh, we got to heal the country. The country must heal. Well, you know what's really fucking... You go and talk to one of these, like, kids... families, that guy. You know what's real healing? Taking the fucking scumbag and watching him die in jail. That's pretty fucking healing. Go watch a movie. It's a upstanding citizen, I think is the name of it. The guy who starred in the Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and Angel Has Fallen. That guy there, something Butler, I think is the guy's name. He starred in it. And you didn't really know who he was. He was just like a family guy. He's at home. I think it's the holidays. And somebody knocks at the door, so he goes and opens it. He gets clubbed over the head. And while he's there disabled, because he sort of passed out when he came to, he was all tied up. He couldn't do nothing. And I don't know if the guy stabbed him or let him live on purpose. But while he watched, the two guys that were robbing him, the one guy raped and killed his wife and daughter, and his daughter was like 5 or 6 years old. She was like, kid. And the guy that was with him was younger, and he didn't really have anything to do with it. And he didn't really like when the guy raped the woman. But when he was going to do it to the kid, he goes, it's just a kid. And he goes, oh, it's okay, man. Kids love me. And he turned out he was the guy that worked for the CIA. And what he did was he was the guy that created these inventive ways to kill people so it didn't look like, you know, they were killed. Like, he had a thing where they made a necktie for the guy, and when they signaled it, it would choke the guy to death. And it was made out of like carbon fiber, so there was no way to get it off him until it had done its job, and shit like that. Well, he started taking these guys out, and then he let them. He basically set it up where they could either let it go, but for some reason, because the guy that raped and killed his family, they made a deal with him, so he didn't get the death penalty, he didn't get life in jail. He got like a couple years in jail because he flipped on some big mob guy. And again, you know, I would say that is a good thing for this. It's like, yeah, that doesn't heal a nation when you let the scumbag get away with it. It really doesn't. And and that's why he did it. So he took out both of the guys. I think he took out, then he started taking out the judge, the prosecutor, or some of the other people. And the only one he didn't go after was the main prosecutor. He wanted him to learn. And so they decided, and I'm sure that if he would have just like, oh my God, you know, can't do anything, and let him go, maybe that would have ended it. But he was basically going after the guy. That's when he started killing the judge and some of the other people. And
I am returning to town. Feel the wrath of Yitan.
And it got to a point where Jamie Foxx is like telling him, hey, look, if I'd have went to trial, I could have lost. He goes, getting the plea deal, getting him off the streets, I just felt within the guy. And he said, look, if you'd have went after him, full bore and failed, because I could have lived with that a hell of a lot better than you just letting him go. And he went through all this shit just to try and prove that to the guy. Well, this is the thing, you know, we started this with Nixon, and they had remnants of it during the Reagan administration. I think you could maybe say there was a little bit of it in the Bush Senior administration, but a lot of that was just covering up what happened under Reagan. And there was a lot of for the younger people, there was a lot of speculation at the time that the reason he did that is because, see, Reagan didn't seem to know about the Iran-Contra affair and some of the other shit. And there was speculation that the former CIA boss, Bush Senior, was maybe the one that was ordering this shit. And so there was some speculation that the pardons were not so much about Reagan's people, but it was to stop the investigation before it went to Daddy Bush. And just so you know, like Bill Barr, the guy who was Trump's kind of criminal scapegoater there, he was the one that helped Daddy Bush arrange all the mass pardons for the criminals that were in the Reagan administration. And and then you got the war crimes and the other shit that happened under the Bush administration. That got swept under the rug. You know, like for Abu Ghraib, they put all the, it was like, this is exactly what Garland was trying to do, it really looks like. They were just going to get the low-hanging fruit that stormed the Capitol, just like they got all the low-hanging fruit in Abu Ghraib. Even though they had non-commissioned officers and civilians that were all in pictures watching this shit go on. Not one of them was found guilty. Not one of them was put on trial. Not even one of them was identified. They swept that shit under the rug. Well, that's what Garland was going to do here. You know, just like the Obama administration just swept it all under the rug when Holder got in there. Oh my God, we can't do this. We executed Japanese soldiers for some of the shit we did to the Iraqi. We executed them, waterboarding and some of the other stuff. I want that to sink in. We executed them. We fucking killed them. We put them on trial and we ended their fucking lives. But when our people did, they're fucking Republicans. We can't possibly go after those wonderful, you know, like Trump said, there's good people on both sides of this. There's good people on both sides of these war crimes. We can't possibly. No. We'll just sweep that under the rug and ignore it. We won't. We don't need that. And oh my God. And you know, and it was like Bridgegate. You know, they'll find some high-ranking person. You know, Chris Christie did that. He found some high-ranking underling of his to fucking blame it on. He didn't get in trouble. Oh God, no. And not Chris Christie. Trump learned that from him. Trump learned how to blame it. Now, he wasn't as good as Chris Christie was, but he learned how to blame the underlings from watching Chris Christie. It was pretty fucking easy, you know. And they found one general who was never, I guarantee you, there was nothing going on with that general. She had like 17 bases that she had to fucking work at. I guarantee you, she probably spent no more than 1 or 2 days a month at that place. And I bet you the dog collars and the fucking penis leashes all got put away when she was there. You know, that was something Chris Matthews said when he's like, look, these guys did not take, they weren't dog handlers. These guys did not take dog leashes and the other shit they used to war. They were given that by somebody. This is not shit they took there to use on these guys. And they oh my God, and that's what led to Trump. Nobody was ever held accountable. And when I saw that second article, you know, and they were saying, oh, well, he can't go to jail. He's got Secret Service protection. I go, hey, look. I go, the Secret Service can either say that we can't protect him, so we're not going to try. He's on his own. They could even say that we're going to make it an unofficial policy now that if you are a crook and you go to fucking jail, you know, not if it's a political thing, but if you're really a crook and you do shit like this, you lose your Secret Service protection. There's nothing in the law that says we got to cover this guy when he goes to jail. There's absolutely nothing, so we're not gonna. Absolutely not gonna. But if they really feel they need to fucking watch him, well then guess what? They can surrender their firearms like any other federal agent that goes into a prison. I go, they won't be allowed to take mace, they won't be allowed to take nightsticks, they won't be allowed to take guns. They can just go in there like any other agent would, any other local police. When you go into the prison, you surrender your weapons. You go in there naked. And I go, if they want to protect him, that's their business. As long as they don't interfere with jail protocol. You know, like they're on lockdown, they're on lockdown. They don't get any special treatment. And I really think they should just fucking walk away. But I go, we need him to go to prison. I go, we need the reality of what might happen to him in the showers when they figure out that he probably raped a 13-year-old girl. Because I go, there was a girl who accused him of rape back when she was 13. Had to do with Epstein. And I go, she got so many death threats from Trump people that she withdrew the charges. But I go, if he gets in there and they want to make an issue, you know, like Jeffrey Dahmer when he got into prison. If they want to make an issue because he allegedly raped that girl, then he needs to fucking deal with it. I go, he needs to be able to die in prison from old age. I go, if he's getting mistreated, I go, he needs to have the real possibility that he's going to end up like Epstein, taking his own life. It's just that simple. And then what'll happen is the next one might be unlikely to want to do it. I go, if they do this right, Ron DeSantis, because you look at Ron DeSantis down there, this is a guy that likely belongs in jail. Abbott's another one. likely belongs in jail. And because of the way Republicans, they all think they can break the law and get away with it. That Navarro guy, this is a guy that fucked up. He was part of that he was the one who basically created that Green Bay sweep plan to fucking steal the election and sack the Capitol. He was basically given an order to, he was given a subpoena, and he was told to hand over shit. Well, he seemed to think that he was special and he didn't have to comply with court orders.
Your strength fails.
And so what happened was he just, fuck him, They arrested him. That's what happened, because see, they did it to Congress too. And Congress, that's their own fault. They should have arrested people. They have the authority to go arrest people and throw them in a jail on the Capitol grounds. And I don't know when the last time it was used, but the last time it was actually threatened was during Watergate. Because they summoned people from the White House over Watergate, and somebody at the White House, I guess, told them, well, what are you going to do when they don't show up? And they go, well, we're going to send the marshals out to arrest him, and we're going to throw him in our jail until he cooperates. Well, when they were dead serious about that, well, guess what? They showed up. There was no big deal. And but he got arrested, and he came out of the court just about in tears. Oh my God, they arrested me. Yeah, that's what happens to shitbags. Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. You're not special. You don't get to sit there and do this shit and get away with it. You're not special. It's just the way it is. Oh, yeah.
I must wait to use that ability.
She must wait to use that ability. This section of Diablo was brought to you by the word Rico and the numbers 13 and 19.
I am returning to town.
New goods today. Please look, you won't be disappointed.
Oh, I think I'm going to take a break. I'm not feeling that bad, but I'm going to take a break because I really want to do Minecraft. I don't know, I might. Not really sure what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to try and find a UFO topic. And there hasn't been anything new that was overly interesting, so it would have to be something older or something that I don't remember talking about recently. Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead. I'll call it. This is a fairly good stream. Peace out, and I hope everybody has a really good day.